Welcome to this week's episode of The Scoop, live from Saddleback College. I'm your host, Ashley White. On today's show, we'll be venturing around town here in Orange County, visiting a local business at the Kaleidoscope in Mission Viejo, as well as cruising down to the beach and visiting an environmentally conscious spearfisher down in Dana Point. Reeling it back in, we'll take a quick look at the Major Day event that took place here on campus. We have a lot left in store, starting with a heartfelt interview with Sean Osborne, a revered Saddleback professor. Then we'll take a look at the Saddleback Spotlight film, Highway Children, which is going to be showcased at the Newport Beach Film Festival. Last but not least, we're wrapping it up with a stunning performance from professional Persian ensemble musicians Del Bon. So let's get to it. OC is a place of culture, music, and art. Let's take a look at Color Me Mine, an art studio open to all ages that inspires creativity in our community.
Orange County is known for its growing art community. Places like Laguna Beach are full of galleries featuring the works of local artists. While not everyone can get their artwork shown in one of these galleries, people can still create their own unique works of art to put on display in their homes at Color Me Mine. Located in the Kaleidoscope off the I-5 and Crown Valley Parkway. Color Me Mine offers a fun and exciting painting experience to all of its customers.
Color Me Mine is a studio where people can come in and paint pottery that's pre-made, and they get to pick out whatever colors they want to use. Once they've got those colors picked out, we'll come and get the palette and bring over the paints for them and paint their piece whichever way they want. And if they need any help or any more paint, we help them out and get everything for them. Once they're all done, they come back a week later after we've glazed it, and then it's wrapped and ready for them to take home. Your only limit is what you can come up with and whichever piece you're painting.
With numerous figurines, plates, pots, and other options to choose from, the possibilities are endless. All ages are welcome to release their inner artist and let their creativity run wild.
I think what makes this one unique is that it's that ability to create whatever you want on the piece. When one comes in, you've got kids that are like 3 or 4 or 5 and 6, like with their mom coming in to do handprints on plates. Or you've got older couples that come in every year for their anniversary and they paint a piece and make it like super detailed and just amazing. And they give it to each other and it's really fun. And you've got everyone in between as well. They just come in on whatever weeknights they feel.
Color Me Mine also fundraises with different charities through its great tile wall.
The Great Tile Wall is where each group or an organization, they have everyone paint a tile and then they stick it to the wall and it creates a mural. And it's really cool because it's kind of like a quilt almost pattern where everyone has their own piece of it and it makes the whole artwork that much more unique.
If you want to learn more about their fundraising and how to get involved, visit www.colormemine.com. Come on in and experience the art of fun today.
I really like the creativity this studio brings out of us that we too often take for granted. If you'd like to know more about any activities being held at Color Me Mine, you can check out colormemine.com for their schedule of events and party bookings. Not known to many in the OC, besides regular fishing, there's a subculture called spearfishing, where divers search for individual fish for food in the ocean. This is a more sustainable method. Let's dive in and check it out.
Orange County is home to some of the best beaches in the world. They provide a perfect atmosphere for surfing and sunbathing, but what many tourists and even some locals still don't know is that Orange County is also home to a rapidly developing spearfishing community. The 40 miles of coastline in Orange County contains diverse ecosystems for the spearfishermen to hunt. The wealth in Orange County has also made it easy for spearfishing to develop, since the equipment needed can total anywhere from a few hundred to several $1,000s. Spearfishing is an investment, but the locals think it's worth it.
Spearfishing in Orange County is different or special because of the kind of environment that you're diving in. It'll be different, wherever you go in the world. But here we have, these gorgeous kelp forests. We have very diverse environment as far as goes for reef species. But, this great weather, it's going to be 80 degrees some days and you're diving in October for lobster. It creates a unique situation.
Spearfishing is an ancient method of fishing developed by early civilizations in which hunters would use sharpened sticks to hunt for fish in rivers and oceans. Today, however, spearfishing guns, long fins, and insulated wetsuits are common practice. Even with all of the developments in the spearfishing community, people unfamiliar with the sport consider it to be a danger to society and the ecosystems in the ocean. What these people don't understand is how many safety regulations are in place to protect ecosystems and surrounding communities.
You can't spearfish in Laguna. You can only spearfish for certain fish throughout the year. Lobster and crustaceans have their own legal limits.
Most people are also unaware that spearfishing is the most sustainable form of fishing, completely eliminating bycatch since spearfishermen are very selective with the fish and amount of fish they hunt. Waste is further reduced since the spearfishermen eat the fish they catch. Dedicated spearfishermen are aware of the stigma and do their best to stay educated on the sport by taking safety classes and joining clubs in Orange County.
In the spearfishing community, there's a saying, it goes, spearfishing, where hobby becomes an obsession, where hobby meets obsession. And you see a lot of these guys in the sport, and even myself, this becomes an obsession.
People who are new to this sport are encouraged to join spearfishing clubs since they foster a sense of community and do their best to educate people on how to stay safe.
A lot of mentorships that can take place in clubs where you're new, you're interested, and somebody can help you, learn the ropes.
While club members such as Holden are always willing to help out fellow spearfishermen, they are, however, a bit reluctant to share their favorite spearfishing spots.
I can't tell you. If I tell you my spearfishing spots, then they're not going to be good anymore. Typically, we're in Dana Point, yeah.
Thanks, Holden, for an insightful look in the life of a spearfisher. It's time for us to have a quick commercial break. Up next, we'll bring you to the quad on campus for Major Day. So stay tuned for the news. We'll be right back.
Saddleback College enriches its students and the South Orange County community by providing a comprehensive array of high-quality courses and programs. We foster student learning and success in the attainment of academic degrees and career technical certificates, transfer to four-year institutions, and improvement of basic skills. We hope Saddleback College will be your first choice if you seek a dynamic, innovative, and student-centered post-secondary education.
Welcome back to The Scoop on Channel 39. On April 4th, Saddleback held a Majors Day fair where Saddleback students explored degree qualifications with knowledgeable staff and volunteers to decide what major works best for them. We sent our news team to check it out.
On April 4th, Saddleback College hosted a Majors Day in the campus quad. The Majors Day is intended to give students a chance to explore the many majors and certification programs offered by Saddleback. Representatives from all over the campus set up booths with plenty of handouts and information. Many displays, such as the engineering booth, included live demonstrations of projects made by students. The fair is designed to open a dialogue between students and faculty.
The advantage that we have with our certificate programs is that any and all aspects of the industry you can dig in with practicum courses, hands-on. You'll have the tools that you need to then make a transition into what I call the real world and put yourself out there. Our students have gone on to work in the industry in Game of Thrones, Pirates of the Caribbean, the Hunger Games series, the Divergent series, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Saving Mr. Banks.
Students have the opportunity to ask questions and learn new information about majors and career paths that they may not have considered before.
I'm here because I wanted more information about majors and also about transferring. I wanted to see where I can go in the future and what opportunities I have, and so I saw the fair and I just took a shot and talked to some counselors and got some very good information.
Saddleback College's Majors Day is the perfect starting point for new and returning students to figure out a path for their higher education.
We have computer-aided drafting classes, we have space planning, we have digital visualization, architectural drafting, so lots of classes.
So this was a wonderful way to come and figure out, get more information of all the stuff that's offered out there and here in Saddleback.
From Saddleback College, Channel 39.
Talk about a major day, especially for new students. Major decisions shape your entire college experience. But no stress, with the right tools and resources, you're sure to be on the right track. If you'd like to check out what majors that Saddleback offer, check out our website, saddleback.edu/academics. There you might just find the major suited for you. Now it's time to head to an in-studio interview of our special guest, Sean Osborne, Master of Social Work and Saddleback College's Specialist of Drug Addiction and Recovery.
Hello, and welcome to The Scoop here on Channel 39. I'm your host, Michael Sines, and today we have the privilege of speaking with Sean Osborne, Specialist of Drug Addiction and Recovery. Thank you for being here today with us.
Glad to be here.
And again, I just wanted to ask, what is it exactly that you do here at Saddleback?
So I'm a full-time professor in the Human Services Department, which covers things like social work, drug and alcohol studies, mental health, and other programs like that.
Wow. And how did you go about getting the title of this program? How did you get involved?
So years ago, I worked in the Central Valley for Child Protective Services and Adult Services, and I worked a lot with the drug and alcohol population. And then while I was receiving training, I also became an instructor for the community college there. And when I saw the opening here at Saddleback, I applied and wound up being here.
Wow. And what kind of a background did you have coming in? I know that you had been in the Central Valley. Could you elaborate on some of your experience there?
Sure. So I worked for Child Protective Services and as a worker and a supervisor. And the caseload that we would see for Child Protective Services, probably 90% of those had a drug or alcohol problem. So it was a huge issue in the Valley, and really it's that way nationwide, but a huge issue in the Valley. And so we did a lot of trainings, a lot of seminars, and like I said, worked with a lot of people who have some serious problems. And it led itself really well to the courses that I taught at college and to what I do here.
Wow. And what were some of the patterns that you were seeing when you were up in the Central Valley that you were able to kind of take that into your program now and then utilize it to help rehabilitate a lot of the students that you have?
And so, again, about 90% of the cases were drug or alcohol. In the Central Valley, meth is the big issue there. Down here, it happens to be heroin. And where I worked at there, I helped establish something called a drug court, which is a very intensive program working with people. And that sort of layout and setup and putting in place of all the services, you basically see the same kind of thing here in our county. Southern California, Orange County, has the highest number of drug and alcohol programs per capita of any place in the United States. They're just everywhere down here, and so sadly, it's a big industry.
Wow. And so I've seen, or I've heard, that there's been a lot of transformation in this program. Could you elaborate on that transformation?
Yeah, a lot of our students have lived experiences, so at some point in their life, they've gone through drug or alcohol-related problems and gotten their feet underneath them. And for a lot of people who do have those issues, when they overcome them, they want to come back and give back. And so a bulk of my students are working on becoming drug and alcohol counselors because they feel like they can make a real difference in the way that people made a difference in their own lives. And then later, when they're out working in the field, they often come back and want to speak in classes and just talk about all the good things that happen for them.
Wow. And so with that mentorship, what have you seen with a lot of the incoming students that are being mentored with a lot of the success stories that you've seen?
And again, I think a lot of our students have that lived experience, and so what I think it does for many of them is it gives them hope that, yeah, I can get there myself, and regardless of what my past is, I've got a potential for a good future. And all of our students go through some level of internship, and periodically They'll intern at sites where former students are working, so they get to have that connection with them more than just like one time in class.
Wow. And so a lot of that connection, a lot of what we're seeing with a lot of just that mentorship and that accountability with the people that they're getting involved with, you're seeing results from this
Yeah, a
program.
lot of positive results, a lot of big difference made in people's lives. And it isn't just that they're overcoming their addiction, but they're putting their feet underneath them again and working on a career that really has strong potential for them. And for a lot of people, they never saw that as hope.
Wow. That's a total transformation of a demographic. That's
A very big
impressive.
difference in their lives.
Wow. And to go from just like the big epidemics that we have with like the heroin and a lot of the methamphetamines that we're seeing like in different states, the fact that we have this here in California is just impressive.
Yeah, like I said, we're the largest per capita drug and alcohol programs. They're everywhere in Southern California, which mean, and what, well, maybe the ultimate thing that means is that the industry is growing whether we like it or not. And, you know, lots of people need help. It just happens to be that Southern California is a beautiful place to be. If you're going to, you know, work on your addiction, you might as well be someplace that's not nice.
Yeah, and it doesn't you know, hurt that we also have people that care about this, that
Yeah,
actually
not at all.
are passionate about what they're doing and,
Yeah.
you know, that are seeing this transformation. And honestly, I couldn't be more grateful that you've come here today to talk to us here on Channel 39. And again, I'm Michael Sines, and this has been Sean Osborne for Channel 39. Thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Professor Osborne, for giving us such great insight on the community and your work as a recovery expert. Now, after this quick commercial break, we'll dive into an interview with the Saddleback film student on their upcoming film. Welcome back to The Scoop. I'm your host, Ashley White. Let's start with an interview of Lauren Clinton, director of Highway Children, a film loosely based on real events in her life.
I think what makes Highway Children unique is that it's classic coming-of-age story, but it's told in a unique way. You know, every film is going to say things that you've heard before, that you've seen before, but it really is about how you tell it. And so Highway Children, it's a teenage road movie with its own voice. It's, you know, two teenage runaways, and they end up in the nitty-gritty of the real world, which they didn't expect to be dropped into so suddenly, or didn't expect it to be as a heightened risk as it turns out to be.
Whatever you're running from, it ain't worth it, kid. You know my family. Katie's all I've left. Good luck with that.
When you're young, there's so many of us that believe that if we can just leave, you know, we could figure it out. I don't need the support, I don't need the financial support, the emotional support of whatever your home life is, or lack thereof. And some of us do leave. And it turns out to be a huge mistake.
Go, go.
Alex! Alex! Alex, what are you doing? Alex!
Thank you, Lauren, for sharing your compelling story with us. It's always insightful to see films based on a true story. If you want to know more about Highway Children and other films created by our students, the Saddleback Showcase will be premiering at the Newport Beach Film Festival on April 28th. There, they'll also have a Q&A for any questions you have about their film and the production. Hope to see you there. Up next, we have a talented Persian traditional ensemble named Delban. They play 2 Persian instruments, one a stringed instrument called the santur, and the other a special type of drum called tombak. What a beautiful performance. Delbon Ensemble has over 20 years of experience playing Persian traditional instruments. If you want to know more about their music, you can visit their website at delbon.com to check out their other songs and performances. It looks like that's all the time we have here on the show. Shoutouts to Color Me Mine for sharing their unique opportunity to work in the arts to the whole community. Thank you, Holden, for informing all of us about spearfishing. Your insight brings a perspective to a hobby I'm sure many of us didn't know about before. We appreciate the teachers and students involved with Majors Day for providing new and current students with informative backgrounds on the majors here at Saddleback. Thank you to Professor Osborne for providing a great service here to college students, and thank you to Lauren Clinton for inspirationally sharing the rawness and reality of your story. Lastly, we'd like to give a shout out to Delbon Ensemble, who gave us a musical performance brand new to so many of us. We wish you all the best and would love to have you back on the show in the future. Thanks to all who tuned in. I've been your host, Ashley White, and this has been The Scoop.